What if you found out your whole life was just part of a video game? Would you keep playing along or try to break free? In the beginning, we see a man descending from the sky toward the ground. After he opens his parachute, he lands safely into a car. This is actually a gaming world, and everything we are seeing is part of a complete gaming setup. The name of this game is Free City. In this game, those who wear sunglasses are players, while those without glasses are side characters. Players can do anything they want. Drive fast, set off bombs, steal from any place, or kill anyone. We are then introduced to a side character named Guy. Guy has the same routine every day. He wakes up in the morning, says hello to his fish, wears the same clothes, and heads to his office. On the way, he stops at a coffee shop and buys a coffee, which he believes is the best coffee in the world. As Guy leaves the coffee shop, he notices a shoe he likes in a shop window, priced at around $200. When he checks his bank account to see if he can afford it, he finds that he only has $187, meaning he doesn't have enough money to buy the shoes. Disappointed, he continues to his job. Guy works at a bank, and the guard there is a good friend of his. While they are walking together, a player robs a nearby shop and leaves. Guy helps the shop owner but acts as if nothing unusual has happened, as this is a daily occurrence for him. Afterward, Guy goes back to the bank to continue his job. In this bank, there is a robbery every day, but the robbers are always different. When the robbers arrive, everyone in the bank, including Guy and his friend, kneels down as usual. They start chatting casually, as this is just part of their daily routine. Meanwhile, the robbers take all the gold and money and leave the bank. Elsewhere, on a street, a player named Molotov Girl approaches another player and starts talking to him. She asks him for a file, but he refuses to give it to her. Frustrated, Molotov Girl points a gun at him, forcing him to surrender the file. Once she gets the file, she quietly leaves. The scene then shifts back to Guy and his friend. As they are walking, Guy sees Molotov Girl for the first time and instantly falls in love with her. He can't take his eyes off her and tries to follow her. His friend warns him, saying that those with sunglasses are players and that they, as side characters, should stay away from them. But Guy doesn't listen and continues to follow her. He sees Molotov Girl heading toward a door by the railway tracks and tries to follow her, but a fast-moving train comes by, killing him instantly. This marks the end of the game for Guy. We are then shown that the real-world player controlling Molotov Girl is named Millie. She is not just a player but one of the main developers of the game. Millie has a friend named Keys, and together they developed Free City. After completing the game, they decided to sell it to a company called Tsunami. But the company cheated Millie and Keys by saying that they didn't use their game code. That's why Millie decided to steal an important file from the game, hoping that by doing so, Tsunami would have no choice but to make them partners again. The scene then shifts to Guy, who wakes up and follows his daily routine as usual. However, today something feels different to him. When he goes to get his regular coffee, instead of ordering his usual, he asks for something else. This surprises the barista, and everyone around him starts staring at him. Guy notices that everyone is looking at him strangely and realizes something is off. He quickly covers by saying he was just joking and orders his regular coffee, then leaves. Afterward, he heads to the bank where, like every day, robbers come to rob the bank. However, this time the robbers seem a bit different. Guy notices Millie outside the bank, and his friend repeats what he said yesterday. They are the ones with the sunglasses. We shouldn't interact with them. It's dangerous. He emphasizes that they are not like the players and should keep their distance. In response, Guy says, "I just want to see what the world looks like through those glasses." He approaches one of the robbers, demanding the sunglasses. The robber, thinking Guy is an enemy player, misunderstands and attacks him. After getting beaten up in the scuffle, Guy falls down but sees that Millie is still outside the bank. Determined, he stands up again with renewed energy and starts fighting the robber. In the chaos, the robber's gun accidentally goes off and the player is hit. After leaving the bank, Guy puts sunglasses on. Instantly, the entire world appears colorful and vibrant, as if the full gaming setup has come alive in front of him. He sees different icons, plus symbols, dollar signs, and many other things. Guy then spots a health kit on the road and touches it, instantly healing from the injuries he had sustained. As he continues walking, he notices a man lying on the ground with money scattered around him. When Guy touches the money, it is immediately transferred into his account. Checking his balance, he discovers he now has over $2,000. Overjoyed, Guy takes the money with him and leaves. The scene then shifts to real life, where the game's developers, Keys and his friend, are observing that one of their game characters is behaving very strangely. They suspect that a hacker might have infiltrated their game. To investigate, they decide to create new avatars and enter the game themselves to find the hacker. In the next scene, we see Guy, who has bought the shoes he always wanted. He puts them on and heads out, returning to the same train tracks where he saw Millie the day before. Meanwhile, Keys and his friend, now in new avatars, approach Guy. Keys confronts Guy, telling him to remove his skin and leave the game. Confused, Guy replies that he can't remove his skin. It's impossible. Frustrated, Keys and his friends start firing at Guy, but he manages to escape. While fleeing, Guy runs into an abandoned building. As he looks down at his shoes, he notices a jump option appears. He begins making big jumps to ascend the building, while Keys and his friend, familiar with all the game's codes and technologies, design new obstacles to catch him. Guy spots a crane and attempts to grab onto it, but his hand slips and he starts falling toward the ground. Just when it seems like the game is over for him, a rubber tube materializes, saving him from the fall. However, Keys and his friend soon catch up, throwing him out of the game. The scene shifts back to the real world, showing that the developers have managed to cover up the glitch in the game. We then see a TV show where Keys is being interviewed with Millie by his side, discussing the development of Free City. Later, when Keys arrives home, Millie is waiting for him. She's there to ask for his help in retrieving the secret file so they can claim their rightful share of the profits from Tsunami. Keys agrees to help Millie, realizing the importance of the mission. Back in Free City, the scene shifts to Guy, who feels something different today. Breaking his usual routine, he changes into a t-shirt instead of his regular clothes. Meanwhile, Millie has also logged in. Her mission is to break into a house and steal the secret file. As Millie is about to proceed, Guy appears, and she initially thinks he is another player trying to stop her, so she attacks him. Guy quickly explains that he's there to help her. Their conversation is interrupted by the sound of guards firing at them. Millie fires back in self-defense and quickly creates a portal to escape. Guy follows her, and they both find themselves in a container yard. Millie opens a container, revealing an array of guns, cars, and gadgets inside. Guy is shocked by the sight. He picks up a pistol and examines it, prompting Millie to ask what his level is. When Guy admits he doesn't know anything about levels, Millie shows him her level 195, while his is only level 1. Guy asks Millie how he can level up. She explains that he needs to fight other players, steal their money, and complete new missions. The more weapons, vehicles, and gadgets he acquires, the faster his level will increase. After giving him some advice, Millie tells Guy to leave. Back in the city, Guy observes the chaos caused by the players and decides to fight back. He stands his ground and starts fighting with some players, even shooting one. The next morning, Guy wakes up again, as if the previous day had never happened. Guy continues fighting other players, winning battles, stealing money, and leveling up rapidly. He becomes a sensation both in the game and in the real world, quickly going viral on social media. People start calling him Free Guy, curious about who this mysterious character is. His popularity grows so much that players start vlogging about him. In the game, Guy begins helping other characters. In one instance, he saves a burning man. This act earns Guy a new nickname, Good Guy. Guy returns to confront the same people he had encountered before, but this time he defeats them. Afterward, he leaves the bank, and his friend is shocked to see him because he's no longer wearing his regular shirt but a t-shirt. His friend also notices the sunglasses and asks, "Where did you get these sunglasses? They're only for the players. We're just side characters." Guy explains that he took the glasses from a player and begins recounting everything that happened to him. As they talk, some robbers enter the bank again, sticking to their usual routine of robbing it. The guards and police immediately react by sitting down, following the usual protocol when robbers appear. However, he snatches the robber's gun, points it at him, and demands his sunglasses. The player, shocked, hands over his glasses to Guy. Guy then gives the sunglasses to his friend, but his friend refuses to wear them. Guy then chases the robbers away from the bank. The scene shifts to the real world, where Keys receives a message from Millie asking for help. Millie is stuck in a tough level and needs Keys' assistance. The scene then shifts back to the game. Millie reaches the place where the secret file is located and retrieves it, but a swarm of guards suddenly attack her. In desperate need of help, she calls out to Keys. Just then, Guy appears on a bike and takes down all the guards one by one. Seeing Guy, Millie asks, "What are you doing here?" "This place is very risky." As they talk, more guards arrive. Realizing how dangerous the situation is, Millie urgently requests Keys' help, noting that this level is extremely tough and no player has ever passed it before. But Guy decides to handle the situation himself. He takes the guards on, distracting them and leading them away. In the midst of the chaos, the file Millie had retrieved falls as they escape through a window. As they parachute away, Millie fires a rocket to clear their path. Back in the real world, Keys watches all of this unfold on his laptop and is shocked because he hasn't intervened at all. Yet Guy has managed to save Millie from all the tough challenges. The next day, we see the director of the Tsunami company yelling at his developers, demanding to know who this Free Guy is. Keys' friend explains that Free Guy is actually a side character in the game that was supposed to be deleted soon. However, the Tsunami director instructs them not to delete this character because Free Guy has become very popular, and the game's profits have soared as a result. He then tells Keys they need to develop a new game featuring Guy as the lead character, but Keys is not happy about this idea. Meanwhile, Guy takes Millie to his secret hideout, which is filled with cars, guns, and even a horse, showing that he has significantly leveled up. Millie is amazed and asks, "How did you level up so quickly?" Guy doesn't respond, and his silence draws Millie in even more. They both leave the hideout and go out for ice cream, discovering that they both like the same flavor. They spend the entire night together, and it becomes clear that Millie is developing feelings for Guy. In the real world, Millie is shocked by her own feelings, thinking, "How can I be falling in love with a computer game character?" But despite her disbelief, she can't deny her emotions. Later, Keys visits Millie at her house and reveals that Guy is actually a side character whose artificial intelligence, AI, has developed on its own. Initially, Keys thought Guy might be a hacker, but he later discovered that Guy's AI had evolved independently, becoming self-aware. In the final act of Free Guy, the stakes are raised to their highest level as the truth about Guy's existence and the future of Free City collide. After discovering that Guy is not just a regular NPC but an artificial intelligence that has evolved on its own, Millie tells him the hard truth. Free City is a virtual game, and he's just a side character. Guy is devastated at first, but he quickly regains his sense of purpose and joins Millie in her mission to retrieve the secret file from the game's source code. This file proves that Free City was originally built using the code Millie and Keys developed. As Millie and Guy attempt to find this file, Antoine, the corrupt CEO of Tsunami, the company that stole the game, realizes that if they succeed, it could destroy his business. To stop them, he goes to the server room and begins physically destroying the game's servers, causing Free City to collapse piece by piece. Meanwhile, back in the game, Guy racing against time as the virtual world around them starts disappearing. The final showdown takes place on a bridge that Keys creates for them, leading out of the collapsing Free City. Just when it seems like Guy will make it across, Antoine destroys the last server. For a moment, everyone thinks Guy is lost forever as the bridge vanishes under him. But in a twist, Guy reappears in a completely new world, a hidden, untouched section of the game that exists beyond the boundaries of Free City. This secret world was part of the original code written by Millie and Keys, which means Antoine's plan to destroy everything has failed. In the real world, Millie confronts Antoine, offering him a deal. If he hands over the remaining servers, she won't sue him for stealing their game, and in return, he can profit from future Free City sequels. Antoine, realizing he has no choice, reluctantly agrees. The movie ends with Millie and Keys working on a new game called Free Life, where Guy becomes the central character, now free from the confines of Free City. Guy is finally able to live as his own person in the game's new world. Millie also realizes that it was Keys who helped bring Guy to life, and that he's been in love with her all along. Their relationship blossoms as the movie comes to a close, with the message that love, whether real or virtual, can be found in the most unexpected places. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.